Hi everyone, I'm Echoes and I'm a VTuber, and I'll be going over episode 1 of Mecha Ude, which will be my main show this season. I actually watched it a bit during Anime NYC back in August, so it's a really fun series based on my first impressions. But since it's now on Crunchyroll, I'll be going over it. And yeah, it should be a good time. Alright, let's get started. So, in the beginning, one second, we essentially get the introduction main character who's riding a bike, and then he sees like this weird light show going on in one of the nearby buildings. And then it looks like this girl with the cloak is grabbing some sort of cube thing, stealing it seems from this building. But she has a special ability of being able to activate from her from a tattoo on her thighs. One sec. Couldn't get it. Maybe it went too quickly. So there's this tattoo on her thigh that activates, and then we get these claw things that appear on both of her thighs, which is pretty cool. This show isn't a mecha anime as in like pilotable robots, or mecha as in mechanical arms. So definitely a different mecha, of course, but regardless, still considered sci-fi, so we'll go over it. And then we get a pretty cool, we get the show of that tattoo here. Oop, I missed it again. Oop. Yeah, like right here, right under her skirt. And then they activate, and then she fights this blue-haired guy. Yeah, it kind of sounds like typical scum villain. And then he also uses a Mecha Ude. You get some idea of, you Mecha Ude aren't anything but tools to us humans, which is interesting. And then you have that weird cube. Why don't I teach you how to teach it? Sorry. Why don't you show you how to use it? Oop. And then you can see that she's trying to escape with her claw things, and she's surrounded by her enemies. Get some pretty cool fight scenes. It kind of reminds me of like WebGen a little bit. Kind of has this simpler style, but it's really good for action because the character designs are simpler and easier to like bend and stuff. And then you see the main guy is like, what the heck's going on there? And then he also hears a cry for help as well. And then we get the reveal of the main character after his hood's taken away, and the cube thingamajig falls somewhere. Opening is a solid opening. Don't think it's too much to go over besides introducing some of the characters and stuff. It does look pretty cool. Nice song as well. Then you can see the main character, hears the help me. You can see that he's kind of like looking at the news, trying to figure out what the heck was going on there with the noise and stuff. But you can see he's kind of like an awkward kid, just trying to figure things out. And just going to school and stuff. He's not exactly the most sociable, but it's not like he needs to be, really. Because he wants to give the pregnant lady the seat. And you can see he's motivated by what he sees on his phone. But he gets a bit scared due to his anxiety. But the other guy instead gives her the seat once he notices, and then I guess it works out in a way. And then he sees some of his friends from school. I wonder who that guy on the sign is. Probably some famous guy. Then you see that girl from before. She's just eating and stuff. And then we get the name of the main character's name is Hikaru. He's a troubled third year's junior high student. But you can see that he heard a voice and he looked out his window, and then the area around some sort of building, which is a Kagami building, was strangely bright, but it's not visible in cameras for some reason, which is interesting. Then we meet this girl who seems to know everyone and seems to be rather popular. And then you can see they're kind of discussing, he saw some weird lights and a weird voice. Kind of said like, someone help me, or you're scared, and then he hears it. And then he decides to kind of run off and look for it. And then he meets like a security guy, says you can't go that far. But he hears it and kind of, in a way, just goes toward like a call of destiny of sorts. And then he touches the cube. And then the cube ends up going into his hoodie, which is definitely an interesting thing. It also signals where exactly he is. And then he notices that the cube becomes this huge mechanical arm that seems to be very happy to see him. Kind of interesting, but it's like it's kind of interesting having kind of like a AI or sentient arm in this case. Kind of reminds me of I feel like there's some, it reminds me a little bit of Parasite a bit, but regardless, this is a little bit less of Parasite since it's not actually connected to its body, so a little different, but regardless, seems like a nice arm guy. It's like stuck to the hoodie, and then the drone identifies him and then starts taking out chainsaws and then kind of like running away. It's kind of funny. What I really like this series because it's actually quite comedic with its timing and their dialogue, so it works really well. And you see the arm is like barely like hanging on for dear life. And then they're trying to work together, get out of there and everything. And then they see, oh, it connected to just a normal civilian and stuff. What should they do? And then they're trying to secure it. And they don't really care what happens to him. He could run really fast, and he's like, what are you? Oh, I'd like to answer. I don't even know who I am. Do you know one thing? You're a nice person. Well, arbitrium, I can't move as I wish. We don't know what it is. Some sort of material, I'm assuming, but it looks like the robot arm is amnesiac. And then you see that he's trying to move away, but he's like, oh, this is too much trouble. Then you see that the arm can only work within a certain distance from him, which he tests here. But you can see that the kid is a good guy, so he's like, I'm not going to just let you suffer by being here and everything. And then you can see that because the young man agreed to help the arm is helping him run away from the really scary drones. You see that the girl's looking for him, but it ends up like breaking stuff. Kind of reminds me of like a master with her two servants. He's running away here. And then you can see he's like really shocked by her appearance and everything. But you can see that they get kind of get into like a battle scene with the blue-haired guy from before. Hey, don't ignore me and all that stuff. You see that she has some pretty cool poses, this girl. And then you can see the arm is trying to like say like, oh, you should just leave me behind, they're after me. And it's like, you can see that the arm is like, oh, I don't want to see kind people to get hurt. And then you just forget everything you saw here today. The girl's like, are you done running? Don't cause me any more trouble. And then you can see that the arm tells him to step forward to activate something. I know we could do it. And then you can see that he activates like this huge punch when he moves forward, pummels that girl, and then he runs away. And then you can see he introduces himself. His name is Hikaru. And then you see they failed to capture the arm guy. You can see that this mysterious man also has a similar arm thing on his back. Sure, Kagami Group will find him. And then get to the end of that episode. But we get there's a bit of a post-credit scene, which I'm gonna go through a bit. I don't know if there's anything here, but regardless, cool ending sequence. And then they go to school. And then we meet that girl from before who becomes a student. Definitely has quite an entrance. So yeah. Yeah, overall, this episode is pretty cool. It's just mostly just introducing the main character, how he meets Alma, which is the yellow mechanical arm. and the right circumstance involving that, and then we meet some new characters like that red-haired girl, a mysterious organization, like two of them technically. One that the red-haired girl's part of, and one that they stole the arm from, which is, I believe, the Kogami group. So yeah, overall, nothing too much, as it's mostly introductory. But in general, I'm enjoying this episode so far. I get quite a bit of details. It's fun to watch. Good fight scenes. Somewhat interesting but basic premise. And yeah, looking forward to watching more of this. Anyway, that's all from me, and hope you have a good rest of your day. Take care.